What is happening, people, and welcome to this. Starting strong. We're starting real strong today. It's gonna have to bong 10 times. Bong you 10 times. What is happening, people, and welcome to this week's training video that, of course, is a little bit late, but I have good excuse for it because this week Miles and I got the opportunity to go to McDaniel College to speak to a group of students that are moving into occupations that have to do with helping out people of varied abilities. So Miles and I got to go there, tell them a little bit about our relationship. Miles got to share his whole story, and then we actually got to go into the gym and show them a little bit of how I helped Miles out with some of his training and things like that. So it was a really, really cool opportunity, and if there's anyone here watching this now that did happen to be in attendance, I just really want to say thank you. You guys were an awesome group and asked great questions, and it was just a really, really good time. Now, if you guys have not been to a training video in a while, you'll notice that the format has kind of changed, and that's because I really want this to feel like a really intimate setting where I just invited you over to my house and I'm just talking to you about training and just telling you some funny stories. So hopefully you will enjoy this new type of setup, but for right now, let's jump into the training. All right, so here we go. I am obviously at Never State, not at my home gym, and this is actually the first time that I have touched the log in years. Because of my shoulder issue recently, I haven't even been able to support an empty log out in front of me, so me having any weight or even pressing the log at all is a big deal. Wait for it right here. And my buddy Uncle Nick is back home. So he was there training with us this night. It was a really good time. I was getting some Atlas stone to shoulder as well as working the log, and like I said, I was really, really stoked to even be able to do anything whatsoever with the log, even support it out in front, and to get up to 175 pounds, even though it is really ugly and I'm doing it really, really badly. It's still an awesome opportunity. I couldn't believe how heavy I actually got up to. So you can see I'm doing a lot of things wrong, and of course I know a lot of things I'm doing wrong in both these exercises, but in a lot of this stuff, it's the first time I've even been able to touch it or support anything in any amount of time. So I'm really, really happy. This is the same amount of weight, it's just a little bit better looking set. And you can see Miles there in the background. He was hitting some deadlifts and some awesome other individuals that some familiar faces you guys probably recognize from back in the day. But yeah, the log felt really, really good. I was able to get up to 175 for a set of 2. That was the best I did, and then I cut it from there. This right here is the next day, actually, of training. Sandbag is set as 190 pounds. It's like that for the entire thing, so I didn't note it any other time, but here at the beginning. Now, the pressing of this day is actually the interesting part. So I have 150 pounds on here. It's 150 pounds, not 155, because the American cambered bar by Elite FTS, that's the bar that I'm using for my pressing currently. It's only 40 pounds, so that's why the gym math is a little bit off. That was 500 pounds, and here's 180 pounds. It's a normal jump I do. I had 10s, went 25s, even had a belt on. I was like, there's no doubt I'm gonna be able to press this, and I got it for 1, and then, yeah, I did, no, that wasn't going anywhere. That was going absolutely nowhere. That was the first time I pressed in a belt in a very, very long time, so I was like, man, that must be it. This is a cool note. This is 550 pounds. I did not know that happened. That, what you just saw, was my view of it. This is my wife's view. We were both deadlifting at the same time. We did not intend to sync this up. It just kind of happened. You guys see my little deadlift dance, and then it ended up being just like that. It was a really cool clip, so I thought I'd include it here. Anyway, back to the interesting pressing. So I went to the 180, got the 1.5, dropped to 170, and I'm moving it like this, and I'm like, man, this feels like nothing in my hands. This is so easy, not a big deal. It had to be because I had the belt on. So just keep driving on with deadlifts. I'm gonna go back to it and hopefully hit it without the belt. So here's 600 pounds. The first time I've been back in it for a while, and I was pretty amped up. Nala got scared. She wanted to come play. So Elena grabbed her just to make sure they didn't put that down her toe. But here's 180 without the belt. And it's virtually the exact same mirror replica rep, except it doesn't have a belt on. So I was like, I will not be beat by you. I will press, and no, I won't. I guess I'll put it back in the rack and quit. So then the next day I came in, and this is just one of my filler workouts, right? I literally am working out so often right now because the workouts are so small and they're just short, and they're obviously a lot lighter than a normal pressing day for me, so my recovery doesn't need to be there as often. So there's days when in the middle of a work day, like I just done a bunch of woodwork here, like chainsawing, doing things like that, and I just stepped into the gym and got some single arm barbell rows as well as some pressing. So again, right off the 185 failures or 180 pound failures from the day before. The barbell row here, I talked about this a good bit on Instagram to give you guys some tips for it. I'll tell you in just one second, but this was the prior week's top set of 250 and moved really well, so I knew I was going to go up. But if you're going to do the single arm barbell row, make sure that you were standing, but you were splitting the wickets with the barbell. It has to be between your legs. Use small plates so you don't smash yourself in the teeth. You can grab that collar up top if you want more grip work, and you do not need a landmine in the back. You can just tuck it into a corner or cut up a tennis ball, put it on the end so it doesn't mess up your corner. Anyway, there is 270 pounds on the bench press, and it's the first time I've been able to hit that number in a while. So felt really good about that. The biggest thing for me though is the stability in it. It just feels loose in there. It's not the pain or anything like that. It just, I wanted to feel more stable before I start putting a lot of energy back into that press. Here I'm working with the Duffalo bar, the Chris Duff and Duffalo bar, and just doing some Paul squats. So that is 325 pounds. The reason why the gym math is off on that, because the Duffalo bar is actually a 55 pound bar. Between my squats, I was just getting some bodybuilding stuff. As you can see, there's a bend in this bar, and the reason why I'm using it is because I've not been able to get back underneath the squat bar because of my shoulder and just the pain and all of that. So I've been using a lot of SSB and the Elite FTS yoke bar and things like that. But the Duffalo bar has that bend so that I can actually get my arms semi-locked in, not quite like it would on a barbell, and not as quite as tight as I'd like. But this is the first time I've had a regular squat bar on my back in a very, very long time. So I worked up to this is my top set of the Pauls, and it's with 505, and I felt good about it. I mean 505 is not a heavy squat for me by any means, but it's better than it has been in a long time, and I was actually able to get into position with my hands in like a normal squat bar type of setting. For assistance, I was just getting some good mornings, and then these kind of like low to high banded rows. I'm really just trying to get more stim on my chest so that hopefully some of the atrophy goes away, so everything like the log press and everything else will just go up. Anyway, that was pretty much my training for the week. As you can see, I'm hitting it more often. The frequency is higher, and then it's mainly right now because between the injury and then I have so many other things going on, which you're about ready to see. I actually got the cool opportunity to go over to a local farmer's house, and this is a farmer that we do bartering for, like firewood for like meat or chicken and milk and things like that. Anyway, they had a really old white oak tree that was hollow and dead that they had a tree company come out and take down, but they needed it bucked up and cut into usable pieces. Now you guys can see how rotten this thing is. So there was only so much usable wood in it, but it was a really cool opportunity because this tree was 265 years old at minimum, which makes it predates America. So to think about what this tree has seen in its lifetime was just so incredible. It was a really cool opportunity to just spend some time with it. Now, I ended up losing a ton of subscribers when I put out this short on YouTube because people believe that I cut down a tree that old that was alive and chose to turn it into firewood, which is something I would absolutely never do. But as you guys can see, it is big, it is hollow, it has been dead a very, very long time. It's nothing but punk wood. So, yeah, for those of you who do not know, the tree was dead. I didn't kill it. I would never ever do that. I'm a Lorax. I absolutely love trees, but it was a really, really cool opportunity, and one that I will probably never get again living on the East Coast. We don't have a whole lot of trees that are like super, super large and super, super old that haven't already been milled up or used for something else. So it was just a neat opportunity, and that's why I'm sharing it with you guys here. And I mean, it's exhausting work. Tree work in general is exhausting work, but I mean that one in general, just because everything was so big and blocky, and I was just trying to cut into usable pieces. So it was a lot of like weighted carries and loads and things like that all day long. So I literally worked out, I think 5 days in a row, then had the tree, and then I was like, I'm done training for a couple days, try to let things kind of recover and stuff like that. So back at it now, everything's going really well. Shoulder is feeling better than it has in an extremely, extremely long time, even though I'm pushing some of these better weights, and I'm getting some cool opportunities between like speaking at places and a lot of cool conference calls with some really interesting individuals and stuff like that. Some cool other podcasts coming up that I'll let you guys know about, but there's a lot of things kind of going on behind the scenes, and if you guys are following me on Instagram or you're following kind of me a little bit closer, then you'll kind of know about some of the opportunities coming up. But I'm really, really stoked about it all. So that is my training. I thank you guys so much for just joining me again. I just want this to be like we are sitting across from each other on the couch and just talking about how things are going, how the injury's progressing, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you like the intimate setting, because I really enjoy doing it, and I like kind of just giving you some training highlights from the week and talking about stuff that I think was kind of relevant and important. So thank you guys so much. I will catch you later in the week. Until I do go out something amazing with you guys, keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. I'll see you then.